Hi Scorpio, how are you? Athena here, and if you are new to my channel, please do subscribe. I would love to have you. This is going to be a weekly reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus in Scorpio. Now, just to kind of get into your energy, Scorpio, at first it was, I wouldn't say it was hard to tap into, but I would say you're a little closed off. And then I saw like it's either your shadow self, right? Because we have duality, we have our light and dark sides. And so it's either your shadow side or your inner child. I saw him or her just hiding behind a door. So I don't know if you are working through your shadow self right now, if you're experiencing your shadow self, if your inner child needs healing and wants to come out and play, or just isn't sure about where in the world it wants to go and navigate how it wants to deal with everything going on in the world at the moment. Okay, Scorpio, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at your week. We're going to see what your current energy is, what the theme of the week is, what you're working towards, what is working for you, what is working against you, what are some fears and obstacles for you to break through, what you should embrace within yourself, and where to spend your energy, resources, time, as well as possible future outcome, encouragement, and so forth. All right, Scorpio, so let's get right into your reading. I just realized, okay, I had the deck upside down. So as your current energy, we have the Devil, the Queen of Swords, and the Two of Pentacles. So definitely juggling between, so I would say it's your toxic, not your toxic, sorry, your shadow self that you're working on or that you are experiencing at this point in time. It's got to do with your inner child wounds because sorry about that, Scorpio. Just realized my microphone was not hooked on, so the audio is going to sound differently. But anyhow, let's move on. So I'm seeing two things here. I'm seeing that you are in conflicting energies within yourself right now, and it is coming from a sad point. It is coming from a very logical, direct, straightforward, cold way of being to yourself. And I think this has to do with your inner child wanting to be healed so that you could come out and play and live a much more fruitful, abundant, healthy life. And the thing with humans is that we're a creature of habits, right? So whether you have these toxic, addictive behaviors, limiting beliefs, patterns, whatever it may be for you that you are navigating through, you're in the limbo of being present with that energy, living that energy, being in your shadow self, keeping your inner child away, not fully embracing that wounded part of you that needs healing, and just kind of like being like really cold with yourself, just being really compassion. You need to have compassion for yourself. You need to give yourself compassion. You need to give your inner child some compassion. If you're not already doing this would be something that I would advise to do. However, your current energy, this is what I see, that you're just kind of juggling between your shadow self, your inner child, and being very straightforward with yourself. And you know, we're all faced with the pandemic at the moment, so I think at this time, out of all times, you should definitely be very kind to yourself. Okay, we're already mean and self-critical to ourselves majority of the time. You know, whether it's influenced by the media or not, or comparing ourselves to others or not, whatever it may be, you know, it's, why not use this time to nurture yourself and nurture that inner child that wants to come out and play. So for the theme of the week, we have the Eight of Wands, the Six of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. I definitely see you wanting to move forward with healing your shadow self, with healing your inner wounds, with nurturing your inner child. That is definitely a predominant theme that I'm seeing here with these cards, and that may be either by, you know, other readings that you're watching and this message is just coming in consistently where you're like, okay, I get it, I get it, creator source. I get it, my guides. I'll go ahead and work on that. And I know this is something I need to do. Yeah, so I definitely see you working towards healing your inner child, even though there's a sadness around it. I don't know what that sadness is about, and I even feel the sadness of the moon. So I feel like these are just secrets that you've been carrying on for a really long time that's just kind of been eating at your soul. It could have happened, things that happened to you as you were a child. It could have been generational inherited wounds. It could be a combination of both. Sometimes it tends to be a combination of both because um, per generation, if like one generation doesn't heal, it passes on to the next generation. So I do feel like this could also be generational for you. However, that is the theme for you to start working towards. And like I said, it could either be uh, just a synchronization of messages coming in from the divine that's kind of been nudging you towards this path. And so now you're like, okay, I'll go ahead and take a look. But it's a really sad wound. I feel the sadness, and I see the sadness very heavily. So whatever it is that you've been through, Scorpio, trust me, you can get through it. You can heal through it. I've gone through a great deal of sadness myself, and I've come out of the other side healed. And of course, there's always more healing to do. However, the main trauma, the main events in my life that caused a lot of sadness, I've been able to heal through that. So if you do feel compelled, do book a session with me. I can definitely help you through this. So what your key goal and what you want most at the moment, you have the Queen of Wands, the Empress, and the Knight of Wands. So you definitely want to be happy. You want vitality. You want life force. You want to be just like the sun, just vibrating, because all of these have orange, yellow, red, all over us. So it tells me that you are craving to have that life force within you revitalized and reinfused. And you want to be able to channel your own energy from a place of happiness, joy, and love. You don't no longer want to be utilizing energy from a space of sadness, from a space of sorrow, from a space of grief, from a place of depression, anxiety, trauma, PTSD, whatever it is the case for you, you want to be able to move away from that, work towards healing your inner child, your shadow self, and come into your full power. I see a lot of motion here, so you want to be able to move at the beat of your own drum. You want to feel confident and build yourself up, build your self-esteem, build your creativity, build your fertility, manifest like an OG. I mean, you just want the best, absolute best for yourself. And why would you not? And why would the divine not want that for yourself? I want that for you. We all want that for you. Even if those people that caused that pain and trauma to you didn't behave in a way that obviously reflected a way that they would want this for you, trust that your guides, creator source, my guides, and I, we definitely want this for you, Scorpio. Okay? So what are your fears, obstacles, or breakthroughs to overcome? We have the King of Cups, the Chariot, and the Three of Swords. So it's definitely this emotional wound. It's definitely your inner child wounds. I'm seeing like a mother, father, inner child wounds. So the relationship that you had with your parents affected you very deeply, and the way that you see yourself. And the blue is really popping out in the King of Cups, so that tells me the way that you see your emotions is almost like in a blunt way. Like you're very neutral to your emotions. So again, you need, it's a reminder to have compassion towards yourself. Be compassionate with yourself. Just because your mom and father weren't able to love you and nurture you in a way that you deserved, they failed you. You didn't fail them. And so at this point, I feel compelled to say, don't fail your inner child too. Okay? Give your inner child that love that it deserves, that he or she deserves. Okay? You're worthy of this, Scorpio. And so this is something that, because you don't give yourself that self-love, it prevents you from healing these wounds. So that's something to work through and overcome this week, Scorpio. So what we're going to take a look at next is what is going for you, what is working for you. We have the Knight of Swords, the Ten of Swords, and the Page of Wands. What's working for you is the fact that you have this energy of taking really quick action. And this quick action can be both good and bad, because sometimes this quick action can be the hero in the scenario and you can end wars, right? But then this quick action can also start wars, because this action is like, I don't care about the outcome, I just care about being right. So when utilized the correct way, like I said, it could be a hero energy, or when used the wrong way, then it could be like a villain energy. However, how I'm seeing it with you is that you are done with all the bullshit that people have put you through. And because you're so done with it, you're quick and ready to move on and just start your new passion. Find your new passion, find your new vitality, find things that fulfill you, find things that bring you joy, find activities, hobbies, people, situations, events, environments that nurture your inner child, that nurture you, that nurture your soul, and come from a very pure place. So that is great to see, Scorpio. I'm very glad that you have a very quick decision to make this forward, right? Because some people can kind of just stay and linger in this for a while, which is fine. We all need our own time to grieve, and we all need our time to process. But when you just make a very decisive decision like that, like, all right, I'm ready, I'm over this shit, let's get to the next part, then that's also very beautiful to see. So this is what is working against you at the moment. We have Ace of Swords, Eight of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles. So what's working against you at the moment is that something that you've been working on for so long, or the foundation, the job that you had, the income that you had, the practical, tangible way of living that you had, it all kind of just went down the drain, or is going down the drain. And of course, probably the pandemic has a high influence on this. So you probably lost your job, and one thing leads to another. However, with the Ace of Swords here, I'm actually looking at this with more of, so like, be cautious of who you tell about your inner child healing and shadow self work that you're going through. I feel like some people are just not going to be as understanding or welcoming, or just know where you're coming from and kind of put you out in the cold again and make you feel some type of way because you're going through the spiritual journey. So be cautious of people that talk to you negatively when you speak to them about this matter, about this journey, because this is your work, this is your journey, this is unique to you. And the work that you're doing doesn't diminish the outcome. But when you start like involving people that are not on the same frequency, that are not on the same path of journey as you, like you are so ready to end that and move forward with the next phase of your journey, which is healing. Not everyone's there, so not everyone is going to be able to understand where you're coming from, and so they're going to probably conspire against you, if you will, for lack of better words. So that's just something to be cautious of, to be aware of. That's not going to be working in your favor, okay? But online, there's on YouTube channel and many other places, just reach out to people that are spiritual. And sometimes even people that are spiritual are also on different journeys, that they also project their insecurities. And so just take everyone's response with a grain of salt. Don't take it to heart, and just listen to your intuition. The best source is always listening to your intuition. So listen to your intuition, connect to creator source, nurture your inner child, heal your inner child, and then from there you can start searching for people that are at the same level as you are. Okay, Scorpio? So what to embrace within yourself? We have the Nine of Wands, the Eight of Swords, and the Nine of Cups. So even though you've came a really long, far way with all your inner child wounds, with all the bullshit that's happened to you, it's like I see you like continuously making one step forward, one step back, one step forward, one step back. So you make a step forward towards healing, and then you maybe take a step back and just kind of retrieve back to your old ways of being, which when you're breaking a pattern, you know, it takes time and it takes work and it takes effort. So I wouldn't also be so hard on yourself about this, or start criticizing yourself that, you know, you're not in a consistent linear upward path, because healing doesn't look that way. Healing is just like all over the place. And with the proper guidance and mentors, you know, you can get through it much easier, but it's still going to be not linear. Okay. So something that to embrace within yourself is that even though your healing hasn't looked the way that you expected it to be, it's still progress regardless. And you're still able to have anything you want at this point, right? So because you're doing the work, because you're putting in the work, because you are healing yourself, because you are listening to your intuition, you are listening to your spiritual awakening, you are taking that road consistently over time, even though it might not be in a straight line, you're continuously working on this, you are able to have anything you want, any wish that you want, which also comes hand in hand with manifestation. Once you start healing yourself, you also are working, like I said, in a spiritual level. So then you're working with elements, you're working with manifestation, you're working with law of attraction, you're working with much more forces higher than you. And that's where transformation and manifestation comes in. So, where to spend your energy, resources, find support. We have the 3 of Wands, the 10 of Cups, and the 4 of Wands. So where to spend your time, your energy, your resources. We're looking at collaborating with people. We're looking at building harmonious relationships that are genuine and real to you. We're looking at investing in self-healing and healing your inner child, which is going to, in the long run, which isn't really that far from now, but you're getting there. You will be able to reap the efforts from that work. You will be able to become the Queen of Wands, the Empress, the Knight of Wands. You will be able to channel your creativity. You will be able to feel so full of life and vitality, and just feel so energetic on a day-to-day basis by spending the time to heal this inner child wounds. Even though you came from a broken family, if you will, for lack of better words, but obviously your parents, well, from what I saw, your parents didn't nurture you in the way that they should have. They failed you, right? So where you should be spending your time is envisioning with your third eye what you would want your home to look like, what feelings are in that home, what relationship dynamics exist with that home, within your home. And that's where you should be placing your energy, focus, and resources. Okay. Or it could also be that you already have friends that have a very good stable home environment, and so that could also be a place for you to connect with, collaborate with them, get inspiration. Or you can even just start googling on YouTube, or YouTubing, searching for ways how to manifest this kind of home. So like, for example, if you have children and you want to learn how to balance working from home, homeschooling, and still stay sane, still keep everyone activated, right? You can start searching videos like that on YouTube, start connecting with people that already have a solid foundation that can give you great tips into leading you into that dynamic. Okay, Scorpio. So for your future outcome, advice, and encouragement, we have the World, the Page of Swords, and the Seven of Pentacles. So I see this more as like an encouragement. Keep going. You've already learned your lessons. You've already healed. You already completed a huge cycle that you went through. Like the worst is over, is what I'm hearing. The worst is over. Okay, you've made it, and now it's time to utilize that truth that you've gained through completing this cycle, and just stay consistent with your spiritual journey. Stay consistent with your healing. Stay consistent with your healing your shadow self, and patience is what I'm hearing. So just have a ton of patience with yourself, a ton of compassion with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Make sure your self-talk is positive, encouraging to yourself, and it's going to work out. It's going to be okay. You have the world, which is, definitely completion of the cycle. So there's no doubt that you're not staying in a wounded shadow self anymore. There's definitely confirmation that you are moving towards a brighter future, brighter, more energetic, full of vitality way of being that you're working towards, Scorpio. So that's what I have for you this week. If you did find this helpful, please do share, subscribe. I love to have you here, part of this community. And please do drop some comments. I would love to hear from you as well. You have a great week, Scorpio. I'll see you next week. Bye.